Hey everyone, and welcome back to Filliant. Please go check out my website at filliant.com. Like and subscribe, comment below, all the good stuff. Thank you. And in last episode, we looked at chapter 2, where we talked about ownership before acceleration. In chapter 2, the danger of trusting the agent. Today's topic is chapter 3, where we raise the production bar. We are going from prototype to production. And we're going to talk about prototype habits for sketches, and then more evidence-based methodology for shipping things to production. So I just want to go back a step and talk about AI and its evolution over time and what changed between eras. And this is the era when it was new and novelty and experimental. As a side tool, an operational assistant, you would paste in prompts, and that nothing was all built in or integrated, to the current era where everything is fully integrated. The agents are aware of your repos, your IDEs, your PRs, and the thing that was sort of experimental now became necessary infrastructure, right? And so what changed with that is the cost of making mistakes, right? If you make a mistake in an experiment, in something like that, a prototype on the side that's not connected to any systems, it's not a big deal. But if you make a mistake in a production system, you can't just shrug it off, right? Some things have already consumed it. Dashboards, downstream consumers have already consumed and used that data or that model or whatever you shipped that maybe was wrong, and now it's harder to unwind, right? And this can hit a huge scale if the blast radius is very big. So when we're talking about from prototype to production in chapter 3, the point of this is to raise the bar for what ships to production versus the era that we came from, right? We're in an era where this has now become not only integrated, but the expectation. And so your standard for verification for what you still own this has to be higher. So this cannot be what people like to call vibe coding, right? We've already talked about this. If you haven't been through the cognitive struggle, it doesn't make sense to just go out here and vibe code something you don't understand. If you're doing that as a passion project on the side, fine. If you're trying to learn, fine. But if it's your production, day-to-day job that people depend on, then that shouldn't be your working method. You should, on the other hand, treat this as if it's production code that you wrote. You own it, and you, at the end, did write this. Your name ships on the commits, not the AI, not the chatbot. It doesn't say what model created it. And so you should be asking these questions. How do I know this is right? How do I know it's wrong? Running the tests that are relevant for your situation. In data engineering, that can be a million different things. Unique tests for uniqueness or nulls or whatever. Row counts, references, links, whatever it is, run your checks. Also, you should change a bit of your mindset, where we're designing now for reliability. You've become a steward and an architect more than the coder, hands on keyboard, right? Because the agent handles a lot of that work for us now. And so instead, we are shepherds and stewards of the agents and of the data that you own. So you should start to shift your mentality towards being the architect and letting the agent do the coding, but you have to verify and ensure that it's followed all your design plans, right? This allows us to actually use the AI agents to accelerate what we're shipping, because we've put in place the guardrails, the design, and then are verifying reliably based on our definitions that this is correct. And remember also that something that is simple and dependable is going to beat something that is complex and impressive and maybe less reliable any day. Reliability always wins. I've learned a new phrase that I like to use a lot, which is the best kind of ability is availability. So I'm reading through my notes here, make sure I caught everything. Want to make sure that we focus on, when going from prototype to production, and that doesn't just mean in the particular project or task that you're working on in the moment. This is talking about from era to era. We went from prototype to production. You are now working on a prototype, sending it to production, whether it's a macro or micro scale. The methods and the mindset has to be the same. That you own this, you define it, you declare an architect, steward, and shepherd the AI agent, which allows you to accelerate safely and dependably to ship things from prototype to production. So I will see you on the next one in chapter 4, the editor and the workspace. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, please like and subscribe. Check out Fillion.com. Thank you. See you on the next one.